Welcome to today's Explainer. I am so glad you're here because we're diving into something that's going to absolutely flip the script on how you think about energy, transportation, and, well, your own home. Think about the electric vehicle parked out in your driveway. You probably just see it as a clean, efficient way to get to work or run errands, right? But what if I told you that your EV is actually a massive, dormant power plant just waiting to be switched on? I want you to completely rethink what your car actually does. For over a century, cars have been this totally one-way street. We pour in gas or electricity and they give us motion. That's pretty much it. But we're right in the middle of a massive paradigm shift toward bidirectional energy flow. Basically, energy doesn't just go in anymore, it can actually come back out. Your car is no longer just a way to get from A to B, it's a highly capable mobile power station. Just think about this one wild number for a second, 95%. Did you know the average car is only driven for maybe 6 hours a week? That means for the other 162 hours, literally 95% of its life, it just sits there, parked, doing absolutely nothing. Once you realize that modern EVs are essentially giant batteries on wheels, that 95% parked time becomes this massive, untapped energy opportunity for you and honestly for the entire electrical grid. Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1. Decoding V2H and V2G. To untangle all this alphabet soup, we really got to start with bidirectional charging. And it's exactly what it sounds like, a two-way energy street. Normally, standard charging takes AC power from the grid, flips it to DC, and stores it in your car's battery. Bidirectional charging uses a specialized advanced inverter to hit reverse, taking that stored DC power and converting it back into usable AC power. This turns your standard one-way charging routine into a totally flexible, dynamic energy system. So the first major flavor of this is vehicle to home, or V2H. This is all about personal resilience. It literally lets you connect your car directly to your home's electrical panel behind the meter. Imagine the power cuts out, right? Or your solar panels stop producing when the sun goes down. Your car just steps in automatically. It essentially acts as a massive backup home battery, keeping your lights on, your fridge running, and your life totally uninterrupted. Then we have vehicle to grid, or V2G. Now, this one is the community support approach. Instead of just powering your own house, your car actually communicates with the wider utility network. When energy demand spikes, like, when everyone gets home at 6 p.m. and fires up their ovens, the grid gets stressed. VTG allows your car to act as part of a virtual power plant, loaning some of its battery power back to the grid to keep things stable. And the absolute best part? Utility companies will often pay you for doing it. So keeping these two straight is super important. On a personal level, V2H is all about you. Personal resilience, backing up your home, and avoiding those crazy peak utility rates by running your house off your car's battery in the evening. V2G, on the other hand, is about the bigger picture. It's grid support, integrating more renewables, and actually earning financial incentives for participating in a wider distributed energy network. And this brilliantly illustrates how the whole operation connects in the real world. You've got individual homes and buildings, right, with their EVs plugged into V2G gateways. But they aren't isolated. They're all wired into a central virtual power plant, or VPP. This VPP aggregates the power from thousands of parked cars and trades it on the energy markets, or feeds it directly to the distribution network to keep everything stable. Basically, your driveway becomes an active, vital part of the national energy infrastructure. Moving right along, Section 2. Powering homes and grids. So what does this actually unlock for us as consumers and for society? Well, we like to call it the trinity of benefits. First up, emergency backup power during outages. That's just pure peace of mind. Number 2 is grid stability. This helps us store unpredictable renewable energy, like midday solar or midnight wind, and dispatch it exactly when we need it. And third, cost savings through energy arbitrage. That's a fancy way of saying you charge your car at night when electricity is dirt cheap, and then power your home or sell it back to the grid during the day when it's super expensive. You're basically buying low and selling high every single day. To put that backup power benefit into perspective, consider this. A standard dedicated home wall battery stores maybe 10 to 15 kilowatt hours of energy, but an average EV, its battery holds between 60 and 100 kilowatt hours. We are talking 3 to 8 times more energy just sitting right there in your garage. Your EV could easily power an average house for 5 to 10 days during a major blackout. That is an absolute game changer for emergency preparedness. All right, Section 3, cars leading the charge. Now you're probably wondering, can the car in my driveway actually do this today? Well, here's a look at the current hardware matrix. For years, the Nissan Leaf really pioneered this space using the older CH-DEMO connector. It's totally capable of both V2H and V2G. But now we're seeing newer platforms adopt this on standard CCS charging ports. The Ford F-150 Lightning is an absolute powerhouse for V2H, literally keeping entire houses running. The Kia EV9 is rolling out with awesome bidirectional capabilities, and Volkswagen's ID models are pushing forward with V2H and a really strong roadmap for V2G. This tech is rapidly moving from niche straight into the mainstream. Finally, Section 4, the global adoption race. Getting through the complex regulatory red tape for this tech is, well, it's a massive challenge. But a few key regions are totally leading the charge here. Japan has been a pioneer for a long time, heavily driven by Nissan. China's massive EV market is increasingly looking at V2G to stabilize its booming grid. Over in the US and Australia, major home backup pilots are really taking off. Meanwhile, European markets like the United Kingdom, Germany, and France are creating highly profitable frameworks where EV owners are actually earning significant revenue just by participating in grid frequency regulation and energy arbitrage. As we wrap up today's explainer, I really want to leave you with this thought. We are entering an era where true energy independence is literally parked right in our driveways. As this tech becomes the new normal, that line between mobility and home energy, it's going to completely disappear. So when the next major blackout hits your neighborhood, will your car just be stranded in the garage? Or will it be the very thing keeping your lights on and your family safe? Thank you so much for learning with me today, and I highly encourage you to check out what your current or maybe your future EV is truly capable of.